New today, the deputy who shot and killed a Georgia man this week during a traffic stop on I-95 had a history of unnecessary use of force.
Deputy Buck Aldridge personnel file reveals that he was fired from the Kingsland Police Department more than 5 years ago before being hired by the Camden County Sheriff's Office. Action News Jack's Annette Gutierrez is live in the studio. And Annette, he had several warnings prior to his termination in 2017.
Yes, the Kingsland Police Department shared his personnel files with us, and it reveals in 2014 he received a warning using unnecessary force. And then in 2016, he received another warning for violating policy during a vehicle pursuit. And then just 1 year later, in April of 2017, he was suspended without pay for 3 days. And then the last strike, termination in August of 2017. On Monday, Camden County Deputy Buck Aldridge conducted a traffic stop on I-95, pulling over Leonard Cure. The body camera footage shows the incident escalated, which ultimately led to Aldridge shooting and killing Cure. The Kingsland Police Department's personnel records for Aldridge indicate he was hired in December of 2012. 5 years later, he was fired for violating 2 policies: use of necessary and appropriate force and on and off duty conduct. You can see the letter of termination, which states he was fired on August 30th, 2017. But before that, he had several warnings. In 2014, he was warned of using unnecessary force on an individual during this course of a traffic stop. Because of this, he was required a mandatory training on communication skill building and counseling on a proper traffic stop. 2 years later, in June 2016, he was involved in a vehicle pursuit where he and another officer made contact with a motorcycle with their patrol vehicles, this violating policy. And then in April 2017, Aldridge was placed on administrative leave for alleged misconduct. The records did not specify what incident it was. But after an internal investigation, Aldridge was suspended without pay for 3 days and recommended a 12-month probationary period. And then, just 4 months later, records show he was terminated. When I asked the Camden County Sheriff's Office why the department would hire someone they knew was fired for using unnecessary force, the spokesperson emailed a statement saying, in part, "I strongly suggest you also look at the lifestyle of Leonard Cure. He is certainly not the choir boy the media is making him out to be."
Simply because an individual is fired from a job doesn't necessarily prevent you from hiring him for another job, even in a similar field, because you have to review the circumstances of the dismissal.
Now, Cure did have a criminal record. He had several arrests prior to his wrongful conviction for an armed robbery in 2003. And just 3 years ago, he was exonerated after spending more than 16 years in prison. His family told us yesterday he was just starting his life again.
All right, Annette, so in that body camera video, you could hear Aldridge claim that Cure was going more than 100 miles an hour. Was he then able to make an arrest on the speeding then?
So, yes, that's the simple answer. Our law and safety expert, Dale Carson, says, according to Georgia law, if you are driving over speeds of 85 miles per hour, that's considered super speeding, which is a misdemeanor. And as I mentioned, our law and safety expert says this qualifies for an arrest if it occurred in the officer's presence, so he had to have witnessed it. And now Aldridge is currently on administrative leave from the Camden County Sheriff's Office. For local coverage you can count on, reporting live in studio, Annette Gutierrez, Action News Jax.